In a kingdom far beyond the western mountains, a great hall filled with hopeful young men. Each had come for the same reason, and behind a velvet curtain waited a test none of them could imagine. The king was wise and he loved his daughter dearly. He knew that many men desired her hand for his crown, not for her heart. For his daughter's kindness was spoken of in every village, and her smile, they said, could rival the sunrise itself. So the king devised a test. Beside his throne hung a heavy velvet curtain. Behind it, he announced, stands my daughter, and beside her, my cousin's daughter. Tell me truly, which do you favor? One by one, the suitors puffed out their chests. The princess, cried one. Your daughter, only she, cried another. At the front stood three brothers, Elias, the eldest, proud and sure, Darius, the middle, quick and eager, and Samuel, the youngest, quiet and thoughtful. The princess, without question, declared Elias. Your daughter, my king, said Darius. Her kindness is famous through all the land. Samuel bowed his head. I favor your daughter, your majesty, he said softly. Then the king raised his hand, and the curtain swept open. There stood a girl in a plain gray shawl, tired and stooped, her face worn and weary. The hall gasped. Where is the princess? The crowd whispered. But there was no princess to be seen, only the weary girl standing alone in the candlelight. The king's voice rolled across the hall like thunder. I ask again, which do you favor, my daughter, or this girl before you? Panic rippled through the room. The other girl, stammered one suitor. I meant the other one, cried another, bowing low. Elias wiped his brow. I misunderstood, your majesty. The lady beside her, she is my choice. I also choose the other, said Darius, his voice cracking like thin ice. Then the king stopped, for there stood Samuel, exactly as before. His answer had not moved. His eyes held no disgust, only gentle respect. The king came down from his throne. Young man, you saw what stood behind the curtain, yet you do not change your answer? No, your majesty. Why? Samuel stepped forward and the hall fell silent. When I answered you, I gave my word. I said I favored your daughter. I did not say I favored her beauty, or only if she pleased my eyes. A promise does not change because the circumstances change. If my word shifts with every wind, then I am not a man of honor. I am merely a weather vane. The girl in the gray shawl looked up, and her tired eyes began to shine. The king smiled and clapped his hands. Servants hurried forward with water and soft cloths. And as the girl washed her face, the weariness melted away like morning mist. For she was the princess herself, hidden in disguise. You passed through fire and did not melt, young Samuel, said the king. My daughter wore this mask to find not a man who loves beauty, but a man who keeps his word when beauty disappears. The princess placed her hand in Samuel's. He was not surprised by her beauty. He was honored by her trust. And so Samuel and the princess were married, not for a crown and not for a pretty face, but for something far rarer, a word that did not bend. For character is not what you say when the curtain is closed and the prize is pretty. Character is what you say when the curtain opens and everything has changed except your word. A promise kept in the dark is worth more than 1,000 words spoken only for the light. And you, little friend, would you have kept your promise? Good night, and dream sweetly.